crazy. I believe in signs, And I was in Aspen, after I met with all the teams and just prayed and, I asked God, can you give me a sign or just let me know something, where I needed to go. And while I was in Aspen, it just seemed like everybody I met was from Houston. And I was like, this is crazy. Everybody come up to me and they were like, I'm from Houston. You should go to the Rockets. So I'm like, God, is this it? And then before we left, I told my friend I need the haircuts before I go back to Houston. And as I'm walking out, there's a guy who asked for a picture. I was like, yeah, what are you doing in Aspen? He said, oh, I'm just visiting with my family, but I'm from Houston. I said, okay, that's it. This got to be it right here. I'm not going to get up here and say we're going to win 5 championships. I'm not going to do that. But I think if we really dedicate ourselves and sacrifice everything we got, for a championship, at the end of the season, we should be holding up a trophy.
That is the idea, and good thing, by the way, for the Rockets, there wasn't a tour group from Milwaukee and Aspen that week, right?
Absolutely.
Howdy, everybody. You found the very latest episode of Game Time. Glad you could make it. I'm Matt Weiner, along with Sam Mitchell. All the pertinent moments from Day 2 of the Vegas Summer League are on the way. But up top, the Rockets launched their 4-year flight with Dwight. Houston pulled out all the stops in formally introducing Dwight Howard Saturday. Hall of Famers Hakeem Olajuwon, Yao Ming was there as well, among the alums standing by for Howard's first media event as a Rocket. By now, you know the 7-time All-Star left the Lakers for a 4-year, $88 million contract with the Rockets. Yet another reason for the light-hearted big to smile.
I made this decision for me, I really want to be happy. And, like you said earlier, if you can't be happy when you're playing, then, it's not fun. And I just want to get back to, being that guy who was having fun and enjoying basketball, but at the same time dominating. And, I did that with a smile on my face.
There's a guy from East Lansing named Magic Johnson who was kicking my tail in college and kicked my tail in the pros, too. But he smiled when he was doing it. And he was out there. He had fun and played. You got to play hard. I mean, I don't have any problem at all with Dwight having a good. You're supposed to have fun. You are truly blessed to play in the NBA. It's the best job you'll ever have in your life. And if you can't enjoy it, you're crazy. So we're going to work hard. And when the big fella throws one in the 13th row on a block, he can go ahead and smile.
The last 2 years, I've had to really develop, thick skin, which is going to really help me this season and, and the rest of my career. But it takes a lot, to win a championship. It doesn't just happen, just because you have guys come together. But I think, we're just willing to get out there and give it our all. And I just can't wait to get out there with these guys.
The honeymoon is now fully underway in Houston. The ink is barely dry on the deal. But in terms of Howard realizing that dream of a championship for the Rockets, what's first on his to-do list?
Well, first he got to get healthy. And then all of a sudden, he's got to integrate himself in Kevin McHale's system, which he's going to build around Dwight Howard. And then Houston still have some opportunities to go out and add some pieces to this team and make it more of a complete team. But right now, you got to say Houston is a very good basketball team and probably one of the top 4 seeds in the Western Conference by adding Dwight Howard. Then you got James Harden, and you got Chandler Parsons there. They really got some good pieces.
But as we sit here today, understanding that the rosters will still be tinkered with between now and opening night, no better than 4th?
Well, but 4th is not a bad place to be. And then once the playoffs...
Better than 8th, where they were last year.
We saw this past season. Once the playoff starts, it's a free fall. I mean, once you're in that top 5 seeds, you have as good a chance as anyone to come out of your conference. So I think Houston is going to be right there, especially if Dwight Howard is healthy. Of
course, the Rockets and everybody else in the West are chasing the San Antonio Spurs, who took care of some business on Saturday. The Spurs formally announced a new deal with big man Thiago Splitter. Coming off the best year of his young NBA career, Splitter cashed in with a deal reportedly worth $36 million over 4 seasons. Splitter started 58 games for the West champs, averaged just over 10 points and 6 boards a night. Folks, remember the Splitter who struggled in the NBA Finals. That was not the guy they signed to this deal. The guy they signed shot 56% in the regular season and filled a role for San Antonio. The $9 million a year average may have opened some eyes, but it's not an unreasonable number for his position.
Not for a center. And then again, Matt, you made a very interesting point. What he did for 82 games and then the first couple rounds of the playoffs. He didn't have a great championship series, but you know what? For 85, 90, 95 games, he played very well for San Antonio. And You can't teach guys how to be 7 feet tall.